Let's try this whole vlog number 2 thing again. First attempt that I tried was essentially too long and not particularly creative. So see how we go with this one. We're having a look at a hand I played recently in a mixed game. In the spirit of Memento, we're going to try and do this breakdown in reverse. Start at the river and work our way back and see how that one goes. The hand we're going to have a look at is a Limit Omaha High-Low hand that I played recently in a mixed game where there were 10 different games being played during the night. And in the spirit of creativity, we're going to try and do things a little bit differently. So we're at the river. My hand is 8-8 Ace Deuce. Important cards with that are the Ace of Hearts, and I have a set and the nut low. I'm on the button, facing a bet from the small blind and a call from middle position. What is the best play to maximise my return in the hand? Given that there's 3 players in the hand and the river, it's unlikely that I'm actually going to win the whole pot. So that kind of thinking is really out of the question. However, I am looking to maximise my value here, and how can I do that? In terms of how the hand was played to the river, I played it fairly passively, just check calling or just calling bets down along the way. However, on the river here, I think I probably can make a raise, particularly with the small blind who's been the aggressor throughout the hand. I don't know how competent he is at Omaha High-Low. However, he seemed like a very aggressive player. I have one way, the nuts one way, and a reasonable hand for high. So maybe there is a chance that the third player in the hand might have a hand where they don't have a, either don't have a low or don't have a particularly strong high hand. And with the value of hindsight, this is exactly what I probably should have done. Chances are if I raise on the river, the small blind, either as a super aggro, might put in a 3-bet, put in an extra bet. Even if he just calls, it's really going to put the other player in middle position in a tough spot as to whether they're going to call. The turns where the hand really got interesting. The small blind who had been raising on the flop and pre-flop continued his aggressive line on the turn, betting the turn. This actually got the pre-flop 4-better to fold. The middle position player called, and I called on the button. However, just to add a little bit of extra interest, the small blind who'd been the aggressor turned over a 6 of diamonds, which is one of the key cards to make a straight on that board. The flop isn't too bad for my hand. I actually flopped middle set with the nut low draw, and I have the Ace of Hearts blocker in my hand, given that there's 2 hearts on the board. Clearly, without another low card, I'm not going to win the low. And it's unlikely that my high hand's actually going to be good, especially facing with 4 players in the hand. So the question is, how am I going to play this to try and maximise my value and hopefully maximise my returns from the hand? I think raising on the flop really doesn't help me achieve my goal, because it essentially narrows my range to the flop straight with 6-7 or some extremely strong draw, which I could possibly represent with the Ace of Hearts and Ace Deuce, but it's obviously something that I don't actually have. So I think I want to try and keep as many players in the hand to build a pot, and maybe try something on the river, or hopefully I can improve to make a full house for high, or obviously make the nut low for low and take it from there. Pre-flop, I'm on the button. I've got a pair, not the greatest pair, it's a middle pair, and 8 really isn't a great pair in high-low, given that any 8 on the board puts another low card out for a potential low. I do have Ace Deuce, I have weak spades with 2 8 of spades, have the Ace of Hearts maybe as a blocker, but with 1 raise and a call in front of me, I think it's perfectly fine to call pre-flop. As it turns out, the small blind then 3 bets, and the original raiser caps it at 4 bets. The other player in the hand calls the extra bets. Obviously, it's effectively closing the action. I assume the small blind is going to call me, call the 1 bet behind. So if I put in 2 small bets, I'll get to see a flop and see where the hand goes from there. That's what I decide to do. So what actually happened in the hand? Did I follow my own advice and put in the river raise to represent hearts with my nut low? Unfortunately, no. I just decided to call the lamenting of how much of this am I going to get back, and it was welcome to the world of quartering that is the painful side of Omaha High Low. Turned out that the small blind, who had been the aggressor throughout the hand, basically had just a bare ace deuce, and the other player in the hand had a straight on the flop, which improved slightly on the turn, and he basically held on to take half the pot with the high. I chopped low with the small blind, and turned out a little bit worse than when I started in terms of the stack. But Captain Hindsight could have got 3/4. That's going to wrap up Vlogger in Paradise number 2. Hopefully you enjoyed the breakdown and my little spin on it, and hopefully see you again next week for some kind of interview. See how we go.